Hello everyone, and welcome to my live stream. I'm going 10 minutes early, just because I feel like if I start early, I can, end earlier. Not necessarily end early. Kill some more time. But I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here, and then we'll talk about whatever. So no one's in here right now, so I'll be right back. So if anybody comes and don't think that I'm not here or anything, I will be right back. And then we're gonna talk about stuff. This is not a worm stream, okay? This is not gonna be a worm stream. I might talk a little bit about worms. I am gonna show my worm culture, but I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, we got some guests. Not guests, but people in chat. Welcome, Dave Farrell and Miss Lori, Monster Fish Cow. So, I'm just gonna talk about some random stuff during the stream. I don't have a topic. It's not gonna be like Worm Wednesday or something where I show my worms and make more worm cultures, because I love my worms. I was thinking about doing a fish room tour of my room, or a fish room tour like the whole house and just showing all the tanks, or like a feeding, because I haven't fed any of my fish yet, just in case I want to do that. So those are 3 options. Good morning, Olivia. What would you guys like to see, guys and gals? What would you like to see? A tour of my room with my fish tanks, a feeding of all the fish that are in my room, or like a full house thing, like showing all the tanks in the house if I can. Let me know. I fixed the lights on my discus tank. I don't know if anybody realized last time, but they were just sitting on the top. They're the lights that clip inside like the rim of the tank. So there's nothing sitting on top of the tank except for an air pump for the 2 sponge filters. And I did a water change a couple days ago, and I replaced the filter because it was a huge filter. And I downsized it to an Aqua Clear 50. So I had room to move the lights back to the back, because they were on the front rim shining down, which I think was causing a lot of algae. So when I downsized the filter, I had taken the lights off of the front, so they were just sitting on top the past couple days, but I got them on the back, so they look a lot better now, and I'm happy with how they look. Yeah, I wanted to talk about guppies because I do love guppies, and I did find some guppies that I liked. And I want to show them on stream. I'll probably do that later. But I did start 10 minutes early because I felt like it. I had just scheduled the stream and everything. And I was sitting here, and I had already picked up my entire room and everything. So I just hit go live, and I went live. So I don't know if anybody else is live. Sorry if there is anybody else that's live. And you'll probably hear me. Okay, wait. I'm opening this up on YouTube. And I believe I muted the tab. Welcome, Frugal Aquatics. Alright, so I opened it up in YouTube. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come in. I'm betting that they're all gonna come in at 10 o'clock. Because that's the normal time I stream, but I am going to do a time change, which I'll announce that when there's a couple more people in here, so people know that I'm changing the time. But for anybody that's in here, I'm not going to be streaming Saturdays at 10 a.m. anymore. I'm going to be streaming Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. This is because in the summertime we camp, like in an RV park. So we get home Sundays at around 1, and we have to unpack all of our stuff and everything. So I think, and so does my family, we all think that it'd be easier if I streamed at 3 o'clock. So I'm not limiting my time to 1 hour if I was doing 4 to 5, because Science Scout goes at 5, so I have to end at 5. But if I do it kind of like my Wednesday stream, where I stream 2 hours before Bob goes live on Wednesdays, I have the opportunity to go for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, 2 hours being max, which is all that I ever go, pretty much. And then on Saturdays, I can kind of, like if I do it at 10 a.m., I can kind of go as long as I want. I don't know if it was a Saturday, but I did go live for 4.5 hours one time, and I don't want to do that again. I mean, that was good. It was fun, but I don't want to stream that much because that took a lot of hours out of the day. And I'm only up for like 12 hours, so that took a third of my day for streaming. So if I stream Sundays at 3 o'clock, I have the opportunity to go for at the most 2 hours, which I think would be fun, because if I end up doing 2-hour streams, then I can do hashtags for Bob on Wednesdays and then hashtags for Science Gal Aquatics on Sundays. But I do enjoy the morning streams because it gets everybody's day going, kind of like Aquatic Morning Show with Jess. It's like something you can look forward to in the morning when you're like getting ready for work or drinking your coffee, like Miss Lori is. But it's just so early for me, because in the mornings I don't do much. I just feed my fish, and my cat just jumped up on my desk. I just pretty much feed my fish and get ready for the day, clean my tanks and everything. Look at that. She's drinking out of my coffee mug. It has water in it, but I'm trying to be still. Down the Rabbit Hole with Terry is live. Awesome. Fijon Taintix, good morning. JDR Aquatics, good morning. Look at that. Look at that. She's just drinking my water. Doesn't care. That's adorable. I love her. This is not my cat, but she's adorable. Like, look at that. She just sticks her head in the cup. Like doesn't matter. Good morning, Florida Fish Rescue. Look at that. What's wrong with her? It's my aquarium mug. I have 2 aquarium mugs. One's an aquarium co-op mug, and then this one says, I believe in aquariums. There you go. And my cat, like all of our cats, just stick their heads in coffee mugs, no matter what's in it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. So this is the cat that was drinking out of the mug. Her name's Fluffy. She makes an appearance on quite a few of my streams, and so does Skechers, the hamster. And she does not want to be held right now. She's my baby. I love her. I love all of our cats. But she's very social. Good morning, Furloughs Aquatics. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to come in, and then I'll say the time change that's going to happen. I'll announce that again. And I'm going to show my worm culture, and I'm thinking about feeding my fish on camera. But I definitely got to show my worm culture because it's very exciting. And I might update my rainbow worm cultures, not like play with them again, but I might show them and update you guys on them. Because I know, what was it, on my Wednesday stream. It was Worm Wednesday. And that was 3 days ago. I made more worm cultures, and I want to show you what they look like. And if I do that, I'll talk to you about them then. But yesterday I did feed grindle worms to some of the fish. Actually, I fed all the fish grindle worms except for the saltwater fish. And I just took out the plastic canvas, dipped it in water. That's how I make more cultures, but I took those worms and fed them to the fish. Which is actually what I'm going to do today with my microworm culture. Good morning, Ricky, RB Animals and Collectibles. So I'm going to show the culture now. It's like right here. Area. Well, I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. See if I can pull up like a flashlight or something, because I don't want to turn on my overhead light because I feel like that's... Oh, I don't know if you can see that. No. Darn it. That's lame. I might have to turn on my overhead light. But look at those. All the things crawling up the sides. Those are my micro worms. And some are mashed potatoes, so that's nice clumps of micro worms. And this is the culture that I've been, I guess, complaining about the past few streams because it hasn't done anything. I have 2 of these. The other one I'm not going to show because it's in a yogurt container and you can't see through it. But I've been complaining about these cultures because they haven't done anything. And it was so upsetting that they weren't doing anything because I was excited to have microworms. And just a few days ago, I looked in and I saw all these microworms. And they're lovely. And their mashed potatoes are getting soupy and they're eating it. Like it was up here just a few days ago. And then like they eat that much. And that's a pretty good size container. Like it's the size of my hand. That's disgusting. Brie, I couldn't do the worm thing. Oh my god. I love worms. Black worms, microworms, grindle worms. I don't have banana worms or Walter worms. Who knows if those will happen. But that would be fun. Hold the rodent. Alright, I'll say hellos in a minute. Release the rodent. So this is Chinchilla the hamster. It's a chinchilla, actually. No, this is Skechers the hamster. She's on her flying saucer. And Petroman's in chat, so the Skechers was the Skechers was released, and she's on this thing. So whenever she turns, like it turns too. Like, look at her! Aw, she's got a cute little face. Wait, maybe she'll climb on my hand. Olivia's standing right there, so maybe she'll. All right, she left. So. Skechers the hamster. And I think Skechers is actually getting a new cage. It's a 10-gallon tank. She has like a colorful cage. And she also has her 10-gallon tank. But we got a new 10-gallon tank yesterday, and it's got like a locking mesh lid. So, yeah. We got a 40-gallon breeder. It was a reptile tank, and we were told that it can hold water, but it says do not put water in it. So that stinks. And this young lady, this one right here, well, her owner, Olivia, doesn't want to put her in a 40 breeder because I don't think she has room. But, like, why not just make room? And then you could have a male hamster chinchilla. And then you could breed hamsters. So I don't know where Skechers went. I'm joking. My sister walked by, so I said I don't know where Skechers went. She's a cute little old hamster. She's a rodent. She's my best friend. Uh-oh. She's like, she's all over. Yes, it's a fish channel, but we have to talk about Skechers too. She's a fish. I'll catch up on chat. I see some chat. And trust me, I'll read it through and say hello to everyone. But we're taking a quick Skechers break. She's just so cute. I love hamsters, but I'd rather go with my fish. Speaking of fish, we're going to talk about guppies during the stream. I was watching one of Aquarium Co-op's videos from 2 years ago, and I'm sure a lot of people saw it. I've seen it before. Sorry about that. I've seen it before, but I just rewatched it now. Sorry if the audio was bad when I was scooching it. But I rewatched Aquarium Co-op's video. I don't know what it's called. Hey. So everybody say bye to Skechers, and then we'll resume our conversation. Bye, Skechers. All right, she's leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when she'll be back. Oh my God, she's on my bed. All right. I'm going to catch up on chat, then I'm going to talk about that Aquarium Co-op video. Petcher Man, good morning. Main's Tails Fern Vince, good morning. Jess said she'll be up in a few. I have to post that link. Gavin123, good morning. Scott's Aquatics, good morning. Peplin Creek Aquatics, good morning. Yeah, the reptile tanks are thinner glass. Interesting. Eric sees snake food. No, she's not gone. No. Dave Farrell working on the basement, so I'm in and out. Yep. He's down there working on the fish room where I was thinking about doing like videos, like short videos, filming them and downloading them on my laptop. And then after we did the whole fish room reveal, I could post different parts in the series of how we built it. Like we broke down the workshop, and then after we had those 10 tanks up, we broke down the workshop, and then we cleared it all out. He framed the walls. We had to get insulation, break down half the wood room, shelvings that we're not using and everything. And it's an interesting process. I said that in my... Alright, RB Animals and Collectibles. I used to breed hamsters growing up in the 90s. Awesome. Believe it or not, TJ, I have a soft spot for furry critters. That's why I feed Frozen. I was looking on Fishy Boy USA site. He just bought discus from Hans and reselling on his site for who knows how much. Why not buy from Hans direct? It's cheaper. What is this wee stuff? Okay, whatever. He and my mother did it. Whatever. I supervised in some parts. So that counts. Hans who? Discus Hans. Why is this young lady more interesting than most fishos? Haha. Really? I'm interesting? I never realized it. I always thought like I was boring. At least I don't like sit here and stare off into space and do nothing. Dave is doing it right. He is. I don't know how they're doing the racks yet. I think my father's thinking about building the racks for the fish tanks, like the 40 breeders and the 20 highs and the 10 gallons and 75 gallons. Like there's going to be all sorts of tanks. So with the fish room, how are you guys making it? For some reason, I thought you said you were going to have pipes so that the fish could go around from tank to tank, but I don't know if I'm right. So with the fish room, how are you guys making it? Downstairs, we're just clearing out, well, they're clearing out the workshop. We used to have like a workshop. Well, my father had a workshop for building things, and now he broke it down, and he's building walls. So it's a pretty big fish room. But I think you're talking about the water bridges. So there's 8 10-gallon tanks lined up, and there's PVC up and over, but there's sponges on the intakes of the PVC because it's suction. There's a suction between the PVC water bridges, and there's a sponge over where the intake is. So it's just creating water movement and circulation and filtration. So no, the fish are not swimming through them. It's just more filtration. It's for flow and filtration. Andrealis, good morning. Dave, my daughters are supervisors also, and one is a teacher. Awesome. I help. I do help. But most of the time, they don't need my help building a wall and stuff. And I don't like wearing shoes, so it's kind of cold in the basement. Sorry, folks. I'm in the background lurking and working. Hello to anyone I missed. Good morning, Mr. Manifesto. Dave Farrell said separate tanks breeding room. Yeah, that's breeding for profit. We're breeding to sell the fish. And I have this whole rack of guppies. And I want to get some more guppies because I do have an illness in one of those tanks. It's actually that tank right there. And they're getting better. I don't see any spots on them, but I'm just going to treat them for another day or two just to be positive because I don't want to lose an entire line of fish just because I couldn't wait for them to be fully treated. And I don't see spots on them, but I was thinking about putting them in a 5-gallon bucket with a filter and a heater to just treat them because I'm going to break that tank down, clean it, reset it up, and put the healthy ones in there. Well, I'll put them all in there eventually. But when I saw the disease on 2 of them, I immediately cleaned that tank, like on the far side, that one. I immediately cleaned that tank and set it up and, dechlorinated the water and everything. And I put the 5 healthy ones in there that didn't have any spots on them. Doesn't mean they're not sick. They could be, I guess in the early stages of the fungus. I just took them out to prevent them from being exposed to this fungus 100% on 100% of the time when the other 2 looked terrible. So I took those 5 out to try and save them just in case the 2 females didn't make it that were sick. And all those 4 are still doing good, and they're I love them. And even if those 2 females didn't make it, I would still have a line of the Dumbo Red Dragon guppies. Because there was 5 of them, there's 3 females and 2 males. I could still breed those ones. I don't know which one dropped the 2 fry that I have of the Dumbo Red Dragon guppies. But, Jess, I'll post the link in just a second. But hopefully they'll still get breeding. And the 2 that were sick, they're looking so much better. So hopefully they can all go back together. Because one of them is a Dumbo Red Dragon ribbon fin, I think they're called. I don't know what Jess calls them. But I got 90% of my gut. Oh, nope, don't want to pin that one. I want to say I got 90% of my guppies from Jess. I have my mutts, which actually was a $1. I got a $1 guppy, and it was already pregnant. And it had those babies, and then they grew up, and they reproduced.
Good morning.
Hi, Jess.
Good morning.
Morning.
I haven't got everything turned down yet.
But I just got that one guppy that was pregnant, and then a while back, and then her children had more children, and now they just keep reproducing. So that's one line that I don't have from Jess, and that's just like muck guppy, so it's not like a line. And then German ribbon fins, which I got from Rose Aquatics, and I had bought those, and then I got like all these from Jess. But Jess's guppies are like so awesome. Like if you're gonna get into guppies, just get them from Jess. Like she's got great guppies. Vinoski's.
I gotta email you back too. I hadn't forgot. I just got busy.
All right. Vinoski's Tanks, good morning. Sandy Farrell, good morning. Petraman said, Brianna, I'll ship you some in 2 weeks. They just had babies again. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good thing that you're shipping in 2 weeks. I'm finding space for some guppies that I saw online. Well, I guess not saw online. But some guppies that I'm thinking about getting. I keep my guppies in very hard water. I know you have soft water. Yeah, I put aquarium salt in all my guppy tanks. Okay, well I have to go. I'm going out to get some betas. Awesome, Gavin.
Who's going to get betas?
Gavin.
Oh, I need to show you the ones that I bought last night. I am gonna resell them, and I think I'm gonna pick up a few more. They're awesome, but I've got them on the beta barracks now. I'll have to pull it up on my phone and see if my phone will work this morning.
All right. Well, Gavin, what size tank do you have for? Well, I know he had to go. I don't know if he's still here, but what size tank do you have? I know he messaged me this morning and asked if Benson's Fish Room had tanks. You're getting the betas from Benson's Fish Room.
Yeah.
Awesome. How many betas are you getting? Last Box Fox, good morning.
They're koi, but they're long fin koi.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
They're freaking pretty, and I've never been a big fan of the koi. I don't know why, I just haven't. But these freaking, they're gorgeous.
RB said, I don't remember what guppies I'm getting from Jess.
The swallow fin, ribbon fin Moscow. They're like a blue, purple, green, sheeny color with flowy fin.
Oh, cool. I saw some albino red tuxedo guppies.
Some what?
I saw some albino red tuxedo guppies on Get Gills, and they're pretty.
You know who else may have some of those?
Who?
Tank Hank may have some of them.
Oh, interesting. I know Greg the Guppy guy just got some.
Yeah, but I don't think he's got enough of them to sell.
Yeah, he
does.
does.
We're talking about that. Oh, I was trying to ring my phone up.
Oh, if you bring your phone up, can you show some of your guppies too?
Sure.
Yeah, if anybody's ever going to get into guppies, get them from Jess.
All right, I got to mute this one because otherwise it gets loud. It sounds like and it still might sound like a flat saucer for a minute. Ooh, did it work? No flying saucer this morning. Yay. All right.
I'm going to make your screen big so everyone can see them.
Okay. Oh, okay. No. There it is. Where you at this morning, homie? Come down here. Like, would you bother me this morning?
Oh, that's a cool beta.
Wish you could move some. There we go. This is the one that I seen in first that I was like, oh my god.
Oh, wow. Oh, and Petroman, I don't know if she opened the box of the filter. Petroman said, wow, Jess has a lot of tanks.
Yeah. There's the other guy.
Yeah, I think we have like 52 or 53 tanks now.
Y'all got more than me then.
How many tanks do you have?
30 something. Here's the 2 I'm gonna try and breed. It's very, very soon.
Oh my god, that's a gorgeous beta.
Of course, it's the Dumbo. And then there's the female.
Oh, those are cute.
And they can see each other just barely. Right there. But that's okay. Because I'm just going to put him in a container where he can start building his bubble nest. She's not as eggy as I'd like her to be yet. She'll get there. And this guy right here is the brother to yours, Bree.
Oh. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh, that's cute. I mean, I love all fish, so. I mean, you could show me like 20 different fish, and I'd just be like, oh, that's cute, that's
I'm gonna
cute.
come and flare at the camera. Good morning to you too. Grumpy pot. Grumpy. Is that what they're supposed to be though? Grumpy. And he's real chill because I had another one because I had this split like that, which I'm siliconing these in now because I had this male here. Come on, dude, come down. This mustard ground, he's all tore up.
Oh.
He kept jumping the centerpiece and getting over on this side with him. But they didn't tear each other up. That's not what tore him up. When he kept getting over on the other side with this one, I didn't want this one tore up, so I just took him out and I put him down here in the tub. When I put him down here in the tub, I had the whole top of it was covered in plants, and he just ripped his fins all up.
Oh.
See, they're just like shredded.
Oh.
Didn't know he would do that, or otherwise I would have done that. Would have put him down there. And then that's another mustard grub.
Oh, Ricky, the rescue beta didn't make it.
Aww. And there's another one. And here's my crown tail that I'm trying to breed.
I would love to see a fish room tour of your fish room. Like, I feel like my fish room, I have so many tanks, and I mean, I love all my fish, and I think they're all gorgeous, because, I mean, the guppies came from you, and I can't stop looking at them. But I just feel like doing a fish room tour would be interesting. And I feel like some people would want to see them, but I don't think they're.
Yeah, I need to do another one. I haven't done one since I started.
Oh, which guppies are those?
Okay, these are those mosaic, the purple mosaic, Dumbo purple mosaic, but these are John Cox's.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody else had, I can't remember who it was. They're probably in chat too. Had bought the line, or had bought all of the ones that did not have any yellow in their tails. These have the yellowing in their tails.
Okay.
John is going to buy them, or has bought them, and is getting them. I'm shipping them out Monday. So
I thought it was like Bold Mama that was buying the line.
No, Bold Mama got the green dragons and some of the blue dragons.
Oh, okay.
And then those are my cherry and my Bloody Marys in there. They're hard to see now because I've got the top is completely covered in frog bit.
Yeah, I'm getting some frog bit sometimes.
I love. Let's see how long the things are.
Yeah, I think they look nice.
And then here's the Dumbo Dark Dragon or Dumbo. No, big ear Dark Dragons are in the back, but there's a female.
And you don't have enough of those to sell right now?
No, I don't. I do have a bunch of babies that were just born the other day. Well, I don't know exactly how many were born, so I don't have any more I can sell of these. Y'all got. I think the only ones I could sell.
Okay.
I do got some on hold. Where are you guys at? Come here. Oh, I see a nose back there in the back laying on a. There's another one.
Yeah, I have to get some more plants for my guppy tanks. They're like lowly planted right now, and I really need to get some more plants for them.
Yeah, I mean, I just got it really, really highly planted so that any babies, if I
Yeah.
can't catch the female, that any of the babies will,
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to like deeply plant all of my guppy tanks.
See, they're back there, in the back there on that hole. That female right there, no, not her. It's gonna be in the back. Anyway, they won't come to the front, but those are the dark dragons. This is. Let's see if we can see any of them. These are the Hillstream loaches.
Oh yeah, I keep looking at Hillstream loaches online.
I haven't had any breed yet. I've got 8 in here. They rarely can see them. They rarely come out. No, okay, look, back there by the filter on the wall, on the thing.
Yeah, I see one. Those are cool.
They stay back there by the. I've got a power head in there blowing the water because they love high flow. You do not have to have them in high flow, but they like it. And so, since I haven't bred, I wanted to give them cooler water and flow and tank. And so that's what I've done. Except for, come to find out that I ended up having a bunch of orange shrimp still left in here. So I moved my orange shrimp colony back in here. I don't know how it's going to work out with the flow, but we'll see.
Sandy Farrell said, my dark dragons are super fat. They look ready to pop.
Good. Oh, I do have some more dark dragons, but I got to show y'all I have an anomaly that come out of them. These are the juveniles that were born of the dark dragons.
The bigger dark dragons?
Yeah. I've got some new babies, but these I have in a different tank because I've got some that are coming out clear. These females are clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you what the male looks like that goes with those clear females. Where you at, dude? There you are. Okay, focus. See that one right there in the middle?
That one right. Yes, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Right there in the middle.
Yes, I see.
There's a Dumbo Green Dragon right beside him.
Yeah, I see him.
There. There's Dumbo Dark Dragon and the anomaly. And right there, he's chasing the other one. He's like the invert of a Dumbo Dark Dragon. He's like the opposite colors.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I don't know what female threw it. And so that's why I have them separate until they come out. And I can tell which ones I can put back in there to breed. Like that male is going to be okay. And then some of these females with the dark tails are going to be okay. But look, see that female's got a dark spot on her side. See?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't put her in there. I'm going to put them together, actually, and see what I keep getting out of that. But the dark dragons I'll put in with the dark dragons. But this anomaly I'm going to put in together and see what I keep getting. Or I could put him in there with these and just keep breeding that out and see what it looks like. Because it's like a snakeskin almost.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's a snakeskin type. It's hard to see. I hate that you can't really see the colors that well. But that's what it is. It's a snakeskin pattern.
Okay.
Daggone it, there he is right there. He came close again. But the light, because of the yellow on him, it's not helping show his color good enough. There, perfect. Dumbo Red Dragon and him, side by side. Anyway, these are some of the black metal lace, or black metal lace males.
Those are the ones I want to get for one of my
things. Like the trios, yeah. Here's the swallow fin. Beautiful baby.
Yeah, I also asked about those too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about dividing my 5 gallon and then putting like a trio on each side or something.
I keep ending up and I need to pull him. Like this pretty guy, for that pretty male, he's got like he doesn't have a Moscow head. It's like a metal head. And I need to pull him. He's right there. I want solids like that. Solid body. I have some of these pulled already that I have in another tank over here.
What size is that?
This is the same line, but these are the ones that I'm not selling.
What size tank is that?
This is a little like 1.5, 2 gallon, maybe a 3 gallon, bow front little tank.
I have a 3.5 gallon bow.
Is that maybe what it is? And it's acrylic.
Yeah, mine's acrylic too.
It's just a holding tank really until I move them where I want them.
How many fish do you have in there?
In the little bow front?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10.
Awesome.
And I do have a metal head in here, but he's long fin, so he can't breed. But that right there, I kept that male to rebreed these females. I've only got one short fin female in here. The rest of them are all the long fins. And I don't know why I have a short fin female in here. I was just going to do the long fin. But anyway, that's some more betas. This is one of those beta lines.
Sororities.
Yep. And I need to clean this tank, but of course they're not going to come to the camera. Come here, you guys. Don't tap on your tank. Whatever. That's how they know to come eat. Come here, ladies. Come on.
There. Oh, that one's pretty. That one that just came out.
It's a very unique sorority. I mean, and these are full-grown females. There's 9 of them in here. Sorry the glare, you guys.
And that's a 3 gallon bowl?
Yeah. This is bigger than this one, this little bow front. So this may be a 5 gallon bowl, 4 or 5 gallon bowl.
Okay.
I have a guppy in there too, but because I found her in a place she wasn't supposed to be. In this tank, I just have the one male that I'm still trying to get females. I have the female. Oh, where'd my pea puffer go? He's in there too.
Oh, is that your red tail?
Yeah. Big ear, red tail, yeah. I got another male. They're so little. And then the female's over here. Because she's hopefully having babies. She's back there in the back.
Yeah.
See, she's kind of big. I hope that's what she's doing. I hope she's having babies. So that's why I pulled her and put her by herself so that she could hopefully have the babies in peace without him bothering her. Here is the males that I have pulled. The albino red tail, big ear, and the albino red tail, double red. Yeah, albino double red.
Oh, those are pretty. Do you have females to go with those?
Yeah, I'll show the females. There you are, down here. See, I have those males pulled because it takes a long time for these to color out. The males, see, there's the male that I keep for breeding, but he's getting too slow. And I'm not having any females bred, so I'm gonna have to pick another male. She might be, but that'd have been she'd be bred just because she wanted to be. I don't think because he bred her. The females have like a sky blue colored tail. They're all in the back. There's a bunch of young ones back here in the back. You can't freaking see them. There's my mollies. They're always so happy to see me.
Those are pretty.
My little fat balloon things. Those are Kev's fish. These are the Dumbo Jade Mosaic. And I just had babies. There's a young one right there, but I got babies up in there. I don't know where the female went. She just disappeared. And then there were a bunch of babies.
Wow. Which ones are those?
The Jade. I don't have enough of these to sell, and I haven't had enough of these to sell. This has been a line I've been working on for a while, and they just had babies. Like I said, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're like a greenish color, but they look extremely close to the Dumbo the big ear red dragons, which are these. Except for the green jade have a green hue to their body, and these don't.
What line are those?
These are the Dumbo Red Dragon.
Oh, cool.
I haven't had enough of these to sell either, but they just had a bunch of babies too. So, and then that is just 4 of my grow out. Ooh. Dang it. Come on, get back in there. There. These are the little babies from the big ear dark dragon mama the other day. And these are my black shrimp. See the little babies?
Aw, those are cute.
That's a grow out. And then these are the F1s, the first ones of my line that were born. They're big enough for me to start putting a male in, pull the males and or do whatever I'm going to do with them. And then they just had their second, or the other female I have in there had her babies, and they're right here. So this is female 1, F1, and this is female 2, F1. And then these are the albino cherry snakeskin babies.
And do you have those available?
And I don't know. I'm gonna have to look because I've got a bunch of babies, but I don't have many adults left of my own. So I've got to I'm gonna have to look and see if I can part with any of them yet, because I do have kind of a waiting list for those. So they're in with my orange shrimp right now.
Awesome.
So I got orange shrimp there with albino cherry snakeskin grow outs. My black shrimp there with my Bagheera Dark Dragon grow outs. And then Swampy and them have my green dragons now. I'm glad they have them. Oh, and y'all seen those. So the other ones are the albino cherry snakeskin, and y'all have seen those.
Do you have a female tank for those metal heads?
Oh, that's right. You're right. I forgot to turn the light on, so I forgot I had them. There, I got a whole tank of them. I just put 2 males in here that I'm going to keep. But, yeah, I've got plenty of females. Good, nice young adult females, too, that should be bred. I was going to get rid of this line, but I've decided I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to sell down. I just don't want as many. But there's my original male down there on the bottom. But that's why I pulled some other females, because he's just getting too old to breed. But that other one going to town, he's like, hey. The other ones are just holding. Oh, there's the blue dragon. But I'm not. I sent you the best that I had, you and Swampy, and I've got. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. I may have one more pair in there that's good enough for me to sell. The line is getting kind of like, I've got a male in here that I'm gonna breed, but his coloring is there he is right there. His coloring is not necessarily blue. It's like a multicolor. He's coming to the front, I think. Yeah, well, he's right there, but all the females will get out of the way so I can see him there. He's up at the top, back in the back. But see, his coloring is blue, but it's got all different colors throughout his body as well. And I like that. Really pretty. Phone don't want to focus, and was focusing on the females at the time. Anyway, I'm going to focus on him after I sell whatever other of these that I'm going to sell of the blue females. And then I may keep a trio of them and do the blues again, but I'm going to go for that multicolor there, and it's coming out in the blues more.
Those ribbon fins are really pretty.
Yeah, the ribbon fins I got from, or I gave you a ribbon fin. They're almost swallow fin too. They're so big. See, I got this other anomaly coming out in my Moscows, but he's really pretty. But he'll be a cull. We'll pull him out. And that one right there too. He's coming out too.
Oh, speaking of culls,
Coming out. But that's all I got. That's all I got left. So guppy lines.
And then you have your mutt guppies.
Yeah, I get my mutt guppies. That's in the living room with my cherry snakeskins. But I don't want to go in there because Joe's still asleep. So
Yeah.
So anyway, there they are.
Those are pretty. Petraman said, RB, every year I buy another 75 and some 40 breeders. When I move to St. Augustine, Florida in 2 years, I'll start breeding guppies in 40 breeders and let them grow out. This is perfect for them.
I've learned it's hard for me to, anything other than a 20, for me to pay attention enough to keep the line going as it needs to without missing something, I guess.
Yeah, like missing a guppy that should be cold.
I have a hard, my cherry snakeskins breed true. So I don't have to worry about them that much. They breed true every time. No, never had an anomaly, nothing with them. So, they're in the 20 high. But I'm just going to actually move them back down to a 10. Yeah. Just so I can pay more attention to them, that's all. I just don't want it to, that line is such a good line. I don't want it to get, I don't want anything to get by me.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm the exact same way. I can't, even if a strain is considered true breeding,
Right.
I think it's like 70% is where you can claim that they breed true. Yeah. So 30% of your fish aren't going to be perfect.
Right.
So it's hard to keep track of. I can't colony breed guppies.
Yeah, those I think are the only ones. When I started out and I did the half black pastels, that those it got out of hand. They started coming out with yellow tails, and that's the line I just got fed up with, and I sold I gave the whole line to Father Fish.
Yeah, it's so easy to let something get past you, and then it slowly just works its way into the strain. And
that's another reason I kind of went down in all the different strains that I had, because I had too many to keep. They were just driving me crazy. I just had too many, you know, and I want my guppies to be extremely nice.
Right.
Top line, nice. So
I'm the same way. I'm kind of picky on where I get my guppies from.
Right.
And then once I do decide, okay, I want this strain from this particular guy, okay, then I just do my best to not screw them up.
Right.
And that includes, keeping track of what female grew what. Because a lot of times when you're colony breeding, people will only look at the males, but that's only half of the equation. Sometimes a female will drop a larger number of fry that you don't want, and you can't tell them apart. You can't tell which female that was that dropped those fry.
That's why I don't know which one threw that anomaly. So I'm like, that's why I didn't put them in back with the batch with the original colony, because I don't know who did it.
When I'm breeding guppies, that drop, that particular brood, I know exactly what female dropped those fry. Right. And if I grow them up and they're not to standard, then I take her out as well as, they all become culls.
Right.
And it's the only way I can do it and keep track and keep the quality up, to where I want it.
The line that I'm working on making, that one, I know I got female 1, I got female 2, and I know,
Right.
you know, I keep both of their babies separate. So, but that's because I'm starting the line. It was just a lot easier.
Yeah.
But as I get these back down to the size and manageable size that I want, I will do the same thing on the rest of them.
And then it's a lot easier to breed, you know, to breed back, you know, so you can take your males and breed them back to the mother. I know it sounds gross, but trust me, you got to do it. You got to do it every once in a while.
Right. I mean, that's what they do.
So yeah, it's the only way I can keep a strain going. I've tried it other ways. I've tried colony breeding, and over time, now don't get me wrong, some strains are better. Some strains are more set than others. Like there's some really nice red strains. There's some blue Moscow strains that they're pretty well set. So you can kind of get by with doing the colony breeding thing. But if you're dealing with a line that's either new or, you know, kind of unstable, I just can't do it. I've tried it too many times, and it winds up not good.
Yeah. And then, like, I'm also thinking on the lines of, like, my mutt guppies and what my LFS wants. And so they want the brightly colored, like, the snakeskins and, you know, the really stuff that sells like that. They don't want just a plain black fish or even a Moscow. They don't want the solid. They want those brightly colored, you know, snakeskins.
Yeah, I've never sold
dragons and
I've never sold guppies to a local pet shop because they can just order from the Florida fish farms, you know, the Bago guppies, you know, and they're not IFG standard by any means, but they're super colorful and they look nice in a tank, and they're extremely cheap.
Right.
So if you're spending an awful lot of time trying to get to, you know, an IFGA standard, it's not worth it to sell them to a local fish shop. So then it's, you know, you're looking at other outlets, you're going to auctions and swap meets, and you're asking a lot more money for your fish than you are.
Yeah. Haven't had that option though lately.
I don't think hardly too many of us have. They're starting to come back. I see some people have had events.
COC has been streaming for 9 hours now.
Yeah, I started with her last night. Well, we ended on Griff. Heck, I don't remember who we ended up on. And then Adele started one. And if she stops, her time on StreamYard ends for the month or whatever. And so she said she was just going to keep going.
They won't know.
Right. So I stopped at like 3 or 4 and went and laid down.
Last night?
This morning. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was getting up at 4.
Somebody was getting up it was 4 because Skipper was getting up and going to work. So it was 4 when I got off and went and ate a snack and then went and got in the bed, but I still didn't fall asleep till 5 or 6. So, but
yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say I agree with you about those, you know, not colony breeding guppies. I mean, it's definitely an easy way to get a lot of fish, and I'm sure you can sell them to a local pet shop.
Right, that's what I do with my guppies.
You're definitely not going to make a ton of money on them.
And my culls from these good strains go to the mutt guppies. So as I don't know, that's how you get mutt guppies.
But there's even some really big YouTubers out there, without mentioning any names, but they have tried to show, you know, like the breeding for profit, and they do the colony breeding thing, and you'll see that tank for a little while, and then it just kind of goes away, you know, and you never see that tank again.
Yeah.
And it's because the quality will deteriorate.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like a 40 breeder for a guppy tank would be cool for like mutt guppies. I would want to do a 40 breeder for mutt guppies. But I would want to do, like for the pure strains, I would want to do like a rack of 10s.
Yeah.
Like my
For one strain, for me, it just I buy a trio of whatever guppy. It takes me about 7 or 8 10-gallon tanks to breed that strain. Which I know it sounds like a lot, but when you know you're dealing with multiple drops at a time and you're trying to keep everything separate, and you got to separate the boys from the girls at an early age, so you know exactly what's crossing with what. You can eat up tank space real quick,
real fast. That's what I'm in the process of doing, and that's why I'm getting rid of lines. Another reason I'm getting rid of lines.
That's why you see a lot of the really, really good guppy breeders. They'll have an entire fish room of 10-gallon tanks. You know, they'll have 80 to 100 10-gallon tanks, and they're only breeding 3 different strains.
Yeah.
But they can go up to each individual tank and tell you exactly when they were born, what female they came from, what male they came from.
Yeah. Yep. Because it, like, with the way that I was doing it, they were just breed, and still, I'm still not completely off of doing that yet, because I'm in the process of kind of changing things.
It works, and like I was saying, it also depends on the strain. There are strains out there that are really well set.
Right.
And you can just let them go, and they'll just keep producing carbon copy after carbon copy.
Right.
But not all strains are going to do that for you.
Right. I want to do that, and sell them on my website.
It's definitely easier.
I just had the idea when I started breeding them is that I wanted to take the nice strains that are coming out that we don't get, that are coming over being, what is the word? Imported. They're being imported over and over and over and over again. I wanted those strains to breed in our water and then resell. The problem I ran into is they weren't breeding true.
Oh yeah, a lot of them don't, and a lot of people don't understand that those Asian fish farms are making what I call recipe guppies. They actually, because you can take 2 different guppies and breed them together, and they'll make a really fantastic looking fish. Okay, but then when you try to breed those 2 together, and you wind up with a mix of the 2 that it took to make that, you know, right. And you see that a lot.
Yeah.
And they don't breed true just simply because of that. But there are people that are taking their time, and they're working on, you know, getting those strains to where they're set a little better.
That's what I've been doing for a year.
And it's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work.
That's why I buy something already that I like, and I know it's reasonably true, and I just try not to screw them up. Dorsal fins.
Anybody can go buy the same guppies that I've got. The difference is mine are going to breed true and theirs won't.
Dorsal fins for me are hard. You know, if I buy a delta tail guppy strain of some kind, maintaining that good dorsal fin and good dorsal fin shape is really difficult. It's really easy to lose the dorsal fin on a fish. Now, granted, they'll still be fantastic looking fish. It's just you'll lose points if you go to show them because it's not the right shape or it's slightly off color.
Yeah. And it's hard to train your eye to start looking for all of those different things.
Yeah.
Like on betas,
You can actually get the. You can order the IFGA judging standards book.
Yeah.
That'll tell you what's what class and how you judge a certain class. And I've never read it, but I've been to quite a few shows though.
Yeah. That's all. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get those imported strains, it's the ones that I like the best, and make them so that they were breeding true, and then sell them. Breeding true meaning, like you said, 75% is.
Yeah.
But these Dumbo, well, the ones that I want to show that I called, that we had the whole discussion on what they really are. The big ear dark dragons. They threw that anomaly. Well, I called it anomaly, but it's just an invert of the colors. It's not an albino. It's just
there's just something different.
There's no red. Like in the bigger dark dragons, they've got that dark red color to them, which makes them dark. This one has no red in it whatsoever, except for on this little bitty part right here, which goes back almost, I would think, to that maybe Inler, American Inler thing.
Now you can call them. People kind of, I don't know.
Call them American Inlers.
They can. You can call your Endlers all day long, and I'm not going to argue the point at all. The name is evolving to mean something different than it originally meant.
Yeah. I like calling them American Endlers, so. I don't know why, because I'm just goofy, that's why. But.
And I mean, you buy something as a certain name. I mean, you stick with what you bought, you know.
Yeah.
I bought them as Endlers, so I'm going to sell them as Endlers, and I don't blame anybody for that at all.
Right.
My argument was more of the actual scientific name. I don't think is valid, but.
Right. I tell you what, those albino red tails and the red tail mosaics, them suckers show up in a tank. You got a nice planted tank and you want a fish that's going to pop, whoo, that sucker's going to stand out for sure. They just do. They stand off from a distance. You don't have to go and hunt them. There's a fish in there, I promise. No, you know these are in there. They show up from a distance, almost neon, without having to have a neon glow light on them. I like them, but that's what it's about. That's why there's so many.
Oh yeah, you can fill an entire fish room up with guppies.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what else is everybody talking about?
Oh, nothing. Well, since you're here, I'm going to go warm my coffee up. I'll be right back.
So, in other words, I'm chasing her away.
No, I'm taking advantage of the situation.
Mom Guppy's on at 1 Eastern time, Petroman said. And RB said, I have to walk down to the pond and feed the ducks. All right, RB. I think guppies are cool. I think if I had to downsize to like 1 or 2 fish, it'd be like my guppies and discus. Because I think guppies just have such a personality and come in a variety of colors.
And I feel the same way about discus. They've got so many beautiful, well-bred discus now that you can fill a fish room up with just discus in it.
Yeah, I like breeding guppies because they're easy to breed, and they're pretty easy to care for too.
I actually almost pulled the trigger on some, but I got another tank to set up before I do that. And plus, they were a little pricey. I can usually get better deals at them at the swap meets. Some of these pet shops, they have a pretty high opinion of their discus. They want an awful lot of money for them.
Yeah. Yeah, in the fish room, my father's thinking about doing like a 5.5 gallon for breeding betas. And I hope they do another rack of 10s, because if they had extra 10s, I would turn those into guppy tanks. I feel like I would. I mean, I want to expand the amount of guppies I have, so I have like a variety of colors. And I like breeding them for enjoyment. I think they're fun. And when you feed them, especially, because they all come up to the front of the tank.
I like guppies are nice because they can take crushed flake food right off the get-go. You know, you don't have to worry about culturing anything. You don't have to worry about hatching anything. You know, they're flake food from the get-go. They're completely happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched one of Aquarium Co-op's videos this morning where they toured a giant guppy facility. And it was like a really large greenhouse, and they had all these tubs of guppies. And they were pretty guppies, too. And they were talking about how they breed them strong so their tails don't get bent down from being so heavy. And they hatch 6.6 pounds of brine eggs every day to feed those.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they constantly feed their fish.
I think I may have seen that facility that you're talking about. He's filmed there before. But anyways, the whole tail thing, he was one right away that kind of brought up, you know, he said some of these IFGA guppies, you know, their tails get so big they don't swim properly. And I found that not to be completely true. You see it sometimes at the shows because those fish are really stressed, and a stressed fish just doesn't act normally. Yeah. But if you actually go to somebody's house, you know, where they're breeding these huge tail guppies, they're swimming around just fine because they're not stressed out. They're enjoying life. And sometimes a lot of the guppies that go to a show are actually mailed in. The people don't actually go. They just send their fish and say, judge them and send me my fish back and tell me if I want anything. So a lot of those fish have already spent an awful lot of time in the mail, and then they go into these temporary holding tanks, which are usually nothing more than a critter keeper, you know, a plastic critter keeper. And yeah, they just don't act right. They're not swimming around. And I could see where somebody could think that, oh, that fish, its tail's too heavy, it can't swim right. But I guarantee you, before that guy sent the fish, it was swimming just fine.
Yeah. Dave said, no shelves yet, so I'm rethinking 20s and 40s on the wall. Petraman said, guppies grow very fast on live BBS. That's all I feed, and they grow. And
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. Okay, one of the things sometimes people blame on bad genetics is poor nutrition when they're young, and I do 100% agree with hatching baby brine shrimp for baby guppies, but you don't have to. I personally did because when I was doing it, I was also breeding angels. So if I'm going to hatch out brine shrimp, I might as well just hatch out brine shrimp for everybody. But if you got a good quality flake food or golden pearls or something like that, yeah, they can do okay with that dry food. And I just kind of meant it as you can do it that way. You don't have to have that live food. But Petroman is 100% correct. If you're going to hatch out brine shrimp and you have it available, man, your guppies are going to grow faster. They're going to have deeper bodies, and they'll probably pop more color with
Yeah,
baby
I
bird
have
shrimp.
microworms growing for my guppies as well as grindle worms. I want to get into more live foods because they reproduce on their own. So you have to like buy the culture once, and then they keep reproducing. But with flakes, you have to buy more flakes. But I do really like the extreme curl flakes. I think they work great. Dave Farrell said, now thinking 20s for guppies and cribs and 40s for angels and discus grats. It's not a bad idea. I like 5.5s are really great, but I wouldn't use those if I was line breeding guppies. I would use those for mutt guppies. 20s, I have my platinum tiger mosaics in a 20-gallon, and they have lots of room. But if I compare it to my 5-gallon, Dumbo blue dragons, then I feel like the Dumbo blue dragons and my mutt guppies breed faster because they're in a smaller area, so they can focus on each other more.
There's a balance. Okay, everybody just automatically assumes, well, my fry will grow bigger in a bigger tank, and that's not always the case. You just have to maintain water quality, and you can get just as good of results and sometimes better in a smaller, starting your fish off in a smaller tank, because they don't have to work as hard to get their food, and you don't have to feed as much. So there's like a balancing act of trying to maintain water quality and keeping the size small enough for them to where they can find their food easily. And man, I'm trying to figure out a better way to say it, but yeah, there's a balancing act between that. Just bigger isn't always necessarily better.
Yeah.
It is if you're lazy and you're not going to keep up with water changes and things like that. If you want it easy, bigger is usually better. But yeah, when I started out my angelfish, I started them off in 2.5-gallon tanks, and then I move them up from there. Yeah, it's not always the size of the tank. Bigger isn't always better.
Yeah. So with the air pump that my mother found and showed me, there's 33 valves on it for 33 different air stones or air pumps or sponge filters, things like that. And if you have larger tanks, if you're doing that air pump, I don't know if you can close off valves, but I think you would have to have 33 different tanks. And if you have large tanks, if you're doing like 20 minimum up to 75s, you have to fit 33 tanks in one room. But if you're doing 10 gallons for like breeding guppies or something, then I think it'd be a lot easier to get 33 smaller tanks.
I'd have to see the pump you're referring to. You also got to take into account when they say a pump will do X number of outlets. Well, it depends, or air stones. It depends on how deep. Okay, the deeper the air stone is, the more pressure it takes to get the air down. So a pump that could be rated for 33 outlets won't do 33 deep outlets. It'll do, that's why you have to look at the pump. Does the pump say 33 outlets at 10 inches deep? Does it say 12 inches deep? So
yeah, I didn't read about it, but it has 33 valves on it. I think it's like an air pump, and then it branches off to 33.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of those air pumps where it'll be, sorry about that, you'll have the air pump, and then the main outlet of the pump, it'll have a bar of just valves on it.
Yeah.
I started off using that, but then I found I was just using so much airline. I had airline running everywhere.
I do. I got airline freaking running everywhere.
I was buying it by the 500-foot box, and I just had airline everywhere. And man, now that I've went to having a PVC loop around, and I can just put a valve wherever I want it and just drop a couple feet of airline off, that's the way to go.
Is Rocco awake yet? Is he in chat?
What was that?
Rocco. Well, you know, how do you attach your Teespring to your YouTube channel without being monetized?
Say that again.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't attached it to mine.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't found out.
I thought you did.
I googled it, but I didn't actually read what Google
Okay.
said.
I'm waiting on Rocco's gonna help me do it. I set it or I have an account. I haven't done anything on it. I just have an account. I wasn't gonna do anything until I knew I could get the link put on my.
Yeah, I agree with Petroman. Also, not just because he agreed with me, but he was talking about having a system. When you're hatching baby brain shrimp, you need to get a system down that works for you and a time schedule that works for you. And what worked for me was I just used the 2-liter bottles, you know, where you cut the bottom out of it and you can turn it upside down. Well, I made a shelf that would hold 4 of those. And then I had like 10 extra ones. And what I did was I took rigid airline tubing, you know, you can just buy it at the pet shop in like 5-foot lengths or whatever. And I cut the sections down so it was just a little above the very bottom of the bottle. And then I attached my airline to that. And then I put a rubber band on it so it all just stayed there all the time. And then I always had a 4-gang valve on that shelf where I could just plug that airline in. So I'd always have them offset by 12 hours.
Yeah.
And so every 12 hours I had a new batch brewing. And then, because, you know, when you're working, you know, I get it. It can be a hassle. So when in the morning, when I got up in the morning to feed my fish, I just shut the airline off, or I pull the airline out of that valve. Okay, and then I'd go feed my adults, and that allows the cysts, the shells, to float to the top.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound gross, but below that I had a bucket, and I had those. They call them brine shrimp nets. They're just small nets that are just specifically made for brine shrimp. So I just started a siphon with that, and I kept that net over that bucket, and I just drain it down to just about where, you know, you got that big layer of, you know, eggshells. I'd stop it, blow back into it so it wouldn't just keep running, or I'd let it run into the bucket. It didn't matter. Then I'd go feed all my baby brain shrimp to everywhere I wanted it. And then that particular container just went into the laundry sink, and a new one went in its place that already had, you know, the rubber band, and all that stays with each one. And then I always kept a 5-gallon bucket full of salt water already mixed up, ready to go. So then it was just a matter of filling water into it, you know, it's already mixed, and adding my new eggs, and bam, I'm out the door. And then when I got home, I'd have another batch all ready to go. And I just keep doing that. And then every once in a while, I'd clean the bottles out and get the air tubing clean and all of that, and have it ready to go for the next batch. So I just had that constant going, and I could do it in just a couple minutes. Yeah. You know, and it worked out. If you can work out a system that works for you, baby brain shrimp are real easy to keep constantly having fresh, ready to go. And if something happened where I had to work over or whatever, and I didn't use that baby brain shrimp within, say, 12 hours post-hatch, or even 8 hours post-hatch, meaning it bubbled for 24 hours, and then 8 hours past that, I just throw the whole culture away, start a new one, and go.
Then it starts getting nasty.
Well, they're not nutritionally viable anymore. They're pretty much just a skeleton at that point. So yeah, you know, every once in a while I'd have to mix up a new batch of salt water, and every once in a while I'd have to clean out the used bottles. But it didn't take a lot of time.
Right.
Petroman said he uses sea salt to hatch his.
Yeah, that's what I do. I use the cheap stuff, though. You don't have to buy reef salt for baby brine shrimp, just a standard instant ocean. I was actually told by a breeder that using a salt mix, a true, honest-to-God saltwater mix, was actually better because there was enzymes and proteins and stuff, as opposed to just using sterile salt and sodium. So I just took his advice. The guy was a great breeder, and I'm one of those. If somebody's a really good breeder, and I'm down in his fish room, and my eyes are like this big around, I can't believe what I'm looking at. If he tells me something, I usually don't ask questions. I just go,
Yeah,
I'm doing it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a baby brine shrimp machine for our guppies and other
I
fish.
used to feed mine in the mornings and in the evenings, but then I got to where I didn't need to feed everything twice a day. I just needed to feed the babies twice a day. So I feed my babies the bug bites. It's like real tiny. And
Yeah, I got that stuff.
I feed the babies once a day with the bug bites, and then the other time with baby brine shrimp. And then
you'd be surprised how big a fish will eat a baby brine shrimp.
Oh yeah, the cribs eat them.
Yeah, the adult guppies eat them. The adult angelfish eat them.
The goldfish eat them. It's funny watching them eat them though, because it's almost like they suck in a whole bunch of them at the same time.
Yeah, they're like trying to filter feed.
Yes, that's what it's like. Yeah. They're too small for them to just get, one at a time.
And just so everybody understands, I think Jess and Brianne understand, but just so everybody in the chat understands, when we talk about breeding or hatching out baby brine shrimp, it's not the shrimp part that we're actually concerned with. When they hatch out of the cyst or the egg, they have a little tiny yolk sac that's attached to them. And that yolk sac is one of the most nutrient dense little packets of food. So that's why it's kind of why timing is critical.
Yeah.
Is because they start using that yolk sac up. And if you wait too long to feed them, your fish will still eat them. Okay, if they're alive and swimming around, your fish are still going to eat them, but they're not as they've lost 90% of their nutrition.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's viable to raise them to adult. I mean, by the time you go through all of that trouble, they're not really nutritious.
Yeah.
They're pretty much a potato chip. The fish will still eat the heck out of them. But that small window of time after they hatched, and they still have that little tiny yolk sac attached to them, that yolk sac is, if we could separate the rest of the body away from that yolk sac, it would be the most nutritious food on the market. So that's actually what you're trying to feed.
Interesting. Yeah, I think baby brine shrimp and like microworms would grow the guppy fry faster for us. And then good water quality, obviously.
Yeah, water quality is a big issue. Okay, I just see how quickly I can bore people to death.
My fish tank said bug bites is all I feed my guppies. Interesting. I have a container of bug bites. I haven't opened it yet, but I want to try feeding it to some of my fish.
I've got 2 containers of it over there. I mix it up.
They're the bug bites spirulina flakes. Petroman said, I use the baby brine right after they're hatched. That's why I have a couple of hatcheries going.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you kind of try to offset them by 12 hours. So you got one, you got one hatching in the morning, you got one hatching in the evening. That's why I recommend at least 4.
Yeah, we have one that uses a 2-liter bottle. I think it's a San Francisco Bay brand. one, and you just cut the bottom off the 2-liter soda bottle, and then
And you screw the cap on it.
well, that one it's difficult to harvest them because you have to. I don't know how you're supposed to hatch it. I think you're supposed to use airline tubing to hatch it.
Yeah.
But Petroman actually is sending us one of those this brine hatcheries because he has 3 and he only uses 2. And he's actually sending us one of them, and we're gonna try that out.
I got back in the early days of the internet, man. I geeked out on so many different pictures of people's different brine shrimp hatcheries, and there's guys that have got some really neat things going on. And for me, I didn't. My hatch rates probably weren't as good as some of the other guys out there, but it was good enough, you know. So it was just cheap and easy. I made the shelf for them. You know, it was just a like a 1x8 that I drilled. You know, I hole sawed holes just big and just a little tiny bit bigger than a 2-liter bottle, and so it just sat in there, and I didn't have to worry about it spilling or anything. And just using the same airline that you're driving the air through to harvest, you know, it was actually pretty easy.
Petroman said that was great, Terry. I also stress water changes and low nitrates, which people don't seem to test. I don't know why.
Some people do. I don't really test anymore. Once you get a baseline for what you're dealing with, you kind of know you can. I haven't changed the water in that tank, so you kind of got an idea of what it's going to read. But yeah, if you're starting out and you don't have that baseline to go off of, you don't have that history to go off of, testing water, especially for fry, and angelfish fry are one, man. If you expose them to ammonia, nitrite, or nitrate, you're going to have body conditions later. You're going to have fin issues, and they're going to blame it on genetics. And it wasn't genetics. It was just poor husbandry, you know. And you know, we all get busy doing stuff. And so it's really easy to do, especially in a small tank, to accidentally expose them to something that's going to hurt them when they're real tiny. Any kind of exposure to those like organic compounds can compromise their developing fin structure if they're exposed to it too long.
How often do you have to do water changes for baby angelfish?
Daily, maybe even, you know, twice a day. It depends on the container and how clean the water was to start with.
Muppet929 said, "What? I didn't realize feeding my fish basically potato chips. I didn't realize I was feeding my fish basically potato chips by feeding them adult brine. I guess the package doesn't say it's healthy, but still, that's good to know." Okay,
now, when you look at a package of brine shrimp, some of them will say fortified. And basically what they're doing is they're just gut loading that shrimp before it gets frozen. And that's why you can get spirulina brine shrimp as well. So if it says fortified, that means they fed the brine shrimp before they froze it, which is not a bad thing, okay? But they are, if you just went out in the bay and scooped up some brine shrimp and fed them to your fish, it's pretty much a potato chip.
Petroman said, "Terry, I love the Zis. I put a 25-watt heater in and set it to low. Keeps the temp at 80 degrees.
Did you
I'm
tell
running a little cold. I'm running a little cold this morning, but I keep the room at 80, so we're pretty dang close to it.
Did you tell Muppet that they don't come potato chips until after they've lost that yolk sac? Not their egg shell, their yolk sac.
What the heck was that I just heard?
Yeah. I need to go.
Rumble at Jess's house.
Yeah, Lennon's in trouble, so I gotta go. I'll see y'all later.
Good luck.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to run a commercial hatchery or a commercially purchased hatchery, by all means do it. I mean, there's so many different ways to hatch out brine shrimp. It's incredible. You can geek out on it for days and days and see how all these different people do it.
Yeah, I've seen those really large hatcheries, and we did brine shrimp before in those 2-liter soda bottles, and that's when we had a little bit less fish. I want to say like 200-ish less fish, and it sounds like a lot, but that was before like I got the guppies and everything. So I had to feed the tanks multiple times just to use up that one 2-liter soda bottle. But now I think if we hatched out another 2-liter soda bottle, we could probably use it up like in one feeding. We wouldn't have to feed the tanks multiple times.
Yeah.
But I like microworms quite a lot because it was kind of like how I was saying with the flakes. You have to buy more shells, whatever they're called, brine shrimp eggs. You have to buy more brine shrimp eggs.
And they're not cheap. I'm not gonna lie. A big can of brine shrimp eggs is gonna set you back, especially if you go for the higher hatch rates. You know, if you're gonna go with like a 90% hatch rate brine shrimp, yeah, you're gonna pay a little money.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we do like brine shrimp every once in a while, like not having a hatchery constantly, because we do have the microworms and the grindle worms and blackworms for the adult. So we can always feed them worms that reproduce instead of baby brine shrimp. But I would love to do baby brine shrimp as well. But
there's a lot of the guppy clubs that will get together, and all the members will get together and they'll do a mass order, and that way it allows them to go straight to the manufacturer instead of dealing with a middleman. And that's always an option too. We'll go, well, I want 3 cans, this guy will want 2 cans, this guy will want, and until you open that can, it lasts forever. So yeah, sometimes they do that. A lot of the clubs will do that, and they'll just do a big mass order and then just pass them out at the next meeting, and you can get them cheaper that way.
yeah, I haven't fed any microworms to my fish yet, but I wanna try doing that today, probably later today. We probably won't go too much longer. Mismatched Socks said in Dan's brine shrimp video, he said he put some in the fridge to feed later. I never heard anyone else say to do that before, but I love it.
I'm not a fan.
Does it preserve them?
It might. It'll definitely slow down their metabolism, so maybe they're not absorbing that yolk sac as quickly. So that could be a thing. I've never talked to Dan about it. I've just been told by some really good people that, feed them within 8 hours of hatching or throw them away.
I've heard that
Or
they
feed them to
suffocate
bigger
when
fish.
they don't have that airline. They suffocate if you leave them too long. Geek Boy said, Sandy Farrow, with Brand's small hands, it might not be an issue, but if Dave wants to harvest them, as in the brine shrimp, the Zis brine hatchery, I would suggest not using the stand that it comes with. It is too narrow and low to easily get to the valve and be able to turn on. Yeah, I want to build like one that mounts to the wall. I have a piece of wood, and I'm gonna try, once I get the hatchery, then I'm gonna try making like a thing that mounts to the wall, which I think will be easier to have it hanging on the wall. Kind of like how Korean Co-op does it.
I'm not afraid of brine shrimp water, so that's why I just did the whole siphoning thing. I just take the airline off of the valve it's in, let it settle, and then I just start a siphon. You can watch the water come up, and as soon as it jumps back down, you just and then put it over your net and just let it filter into a bucket, because you're just going to throw that water away. You don't want to reuse it. And then you just watch as the water level in the bottle goes down. You stop it just before you get all those eggshells that are floating at the top, and go to town. And then take the whole thing and throw it in the sink and wash it later.
Yeah. Sandy Farrell said, Geek Boy, I don't think he'll be helping with them. LOL. Once the room is done, he has a ton of other things to do.
What are we talking about?
For the brine shrimp hatchery, Geek Boy said with Dave's larger hands, he might not be able to turn the valve on this brine hatchery because it has a lower stand. So, yeah. Once the fish room's done and the hatchery's up, he's normally at work in the mornings when we'd be using it anyways.
Once I get back to breeding again, I'll show a video of the stands in a box over there somewhere, but I'll show everyone how I do it and how quickly it can go.
Hi, G3. That's Greg, the guppy guy.
But it's definitely not the cheapest thing. Once you factor in the price you paid for the eggs, the price you paid for the salt, I try to cut corners everywhere I could.
Yeah,
So,
we already have we always get this giant box of reef salt for our saltwater tanks anyways.
Yeah. And that's just it. I have salt for my saltwater tank upstairs, so I just use that as well. But if you don't have any saltwater tanks and you're still going through and buying a 5-gallon bucket of sea salt, not the cheapest thing out there.
Am I the only one who considers a gallon jug and an aerator at a brine shrimp hatchery?
I don't know if I'd do a gallon jug. That'd be a lot of waste of water. You can put a lot of baby brine shrimp in a 2-liter bottle.
Yeah.
As long as it's aerated properly and they can keep tumbling and nothing is settling to the bottom, as long as they keep circulating, you can put a lot of eggs in a 2-liter bottle.
Bottom Dwellers Aquarium said, I got to try and get baby brine shrimp eggs today so I can start hatching them for these baby guppies. Awesome.
You'll like it.
So we went for an hour and 47 minutes. I think we're going to end it here. Hi, Patty. Welcome. But I think we're going to end it here. I do have to get some other stuff done today.
Is collaboration still going?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Or did she finally go to bed?
I don't know. I'll check real quick. But while I'm checking, next week, I'll still be doing my Wednesday streams, but I'm going to be doing, instead of my Saturday streams, I'm going to be doing it on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And this is because we go camping in the summertime. And if I set a time now, then I can stick with that time until, we're done camping and everything. Well, I'll stick with that time for a while. But Collaboration and Curiosities ended the stream 1 minute ago, and Catfish is live now.
Ha! All right, that figures.
Alrighty. So,
all right. Well, hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It was fun talking to you all, and I'll see you in the next